Oh, yeah. Welcome, folks, to the big show on a Wednesday. Got a great show for you today. My guest today, we call him the Thunder Down Under. He is a world-renowned bodybuilder. He races cars. He's just what they call a toxic male, everything we love on this show. And he's got the biggest fucking biceps, and I'm talking even for a bodybuilder, fucking scary pipes. It's the great Lee Priest. Lee, how are you?
Not too bad. Oh, look at that, Nick. I just went to the gym.
That is...
Two cups of coffee and a handful of roids, and I'm ready to go.
Lee, what are your biceps? How many inches?
They're still just over 21.
21. Holy shit. My wife's neck is 21 inches. She's very ugly. 20.
Speaking of wives, my wife wanted to wring my neck this weekend.
Why? What'd you do now?
Oh, what haven't I done, Nick? It's like I went out, I come home and she's upset, and I'm like, what's wrong? And she's telling me one of her friend's sisters passed away, right? So I'm like, well, what happened? She goes, oh no, she just died suddenly. But then I come to find out, Nick, her sister that died is an identical twin.
Oh.
So it's like, you know when they look exactly the same, they come up, oh, we finish each other's sentences, all that sort of bullshit. So,
yes.
So I'm thinking to myself, I said to my wife, so what's upsetting about that? If my sister died, my sister's 2 years older than me, we look nothing alike. So if my sister died, I'm never going to see her again. I said, you're having a pity party for your friend. All she has to do is go stand in front of the fucking mirror and talk to herself, and there's her sister back from the dead. I said,
that's actually a great observation. I'm sure they don't quite feel that way, the one that's left over. Unless, or maybe, not all identical twins get along. Maybe she fucking hated that, and she's like, thank God that's gone. It's like carrying yourself around. That's actually a fucking great point, Lee. I never really looked at it like that. I'm sure, like I said, the living one might be bummed, but...
I know. Well, you go shopping, you're walking past all the shop windows, she's walking right beside you.
What's creepy? How about if it's an open casket? That would be creepy.
Oh, yeah. It'd be like looking at yourself, wouldn't it? You'd be like...
You're like, holy shit, I don't want that makeup guy. And I don't want those fucking shoes.
But here's another thing. This has probably happened to you. I actually felt sorry for him, but I was in the mall. You know when you're busting to take a piss and all the toilets are full, so there's always the handicap one. You think, should I use it? Shouldn't I use it? I thought, fuck it. I got to go. I'm going to use it.
Yes.
My luck, I go and use it. When I come out, guess what? Here's fucking a cross between Stephen Hawking and Davros, the leader of the fucking Daleks. Out there. Do you know that toilet is for disabled people? I'm like, well, fuck, you want equality, you have to learn to wait like us able-bodies do, you dumb cunt. So, and it really pissed me off because I thought I'd done something bad. But as I was out there shopping, I seen him and the guy, his helper, I guess, or lover, because he looked a bit gay.
Yeah.
And then my sadness turned to happiness because I thought, this fucker's got it made, because I go shopping with the wife and I get horny in the mall and I'm thinking, be nice just to bend the missus over here in the mall and nobody will know what I'm doing.
Of course.
It'd look pretty obvious what. Yeah. Yes. Black Friday. It'd be like, I'm shopping with her, but I can't do anything because it's going to look obvious. But then I look at this Stephen Hawking and his handler. I figured this guy's got it made, because you got to see it this way, Nick. He's pushing him in the wheelchair like this. He's pushing him along. And he's got a colostomy bag in. So I figured all he has to do is get up beside his lover, he unplugs that colostomy bag, lifts up his T-shirt and rocks him back and forth. And he's fucking him in the mall, because technically where the colostomy bag goes in, that's his new asshole. So they could have sex all throughout the mall. I'm like, I thought...
You got a weird way of looking at things. And
Hey,
I've looked at
my glass is half full, Nick.
Yeah, your colostomy bag's half full to fucking of common shit.
Hey,
We're off to a rip-roaring start. This isn't the shit you hear on Face the Nation, thank Christ. That is, what the fuck did I want to ask you, Lee? Something about bodybuilding, too.
I sent
Go ahead.
I sent Dallas some pictures. I got this 1990 military Humvee. It was in Desert Storm. When I was cleaning it out, it still had dirt sand in it. Had like 8 grenade pins still inside of it. So I'm wondering what the body count is on my Humvee. You like that shirt?
Time. Oh yeah, for indictment. Yes. Look at the rings. The fucking ring. I was going to ask you. That's where I was going next, Lee. What did you think of Joe Biden pardoning his son? I mean, it shouldn't. People are surprised about it. You're like, why? The guy's a lying cocksucker. Always has been.
I know. He said the whole time, I will not pardon him. I will not pardon him. But like you said, the whole last 4 years has been full of lies. And where is Joe anyway? He hasn't even been around. So I'm amazed that he came out. Maybe he accidentally pardoned his son because he thought he was, well, he technically had to pardon the turkey, so I guess that's his fucking son.
Yeah, exactly. It's what a fucking it's typical. We should be surprised. But he's even taken flack from like a Democrat governor, the governor of Colorado, fucking read him the Riot Act. And that guy's like a real left-wing lib. He's got like MS-13 taking over apartment complexes, unless I'm confusing him with the mayor of that city of Aurora. I might be. But either way, it's a Democrat even fucking dressing Joe down for what a lion. And I bet you Joe's probably going, you know what? I'm going to be dead soon. Keep our fingers crossed. I might as well fucking pardon my kid, but I didn't believe him the day he said it a year ago. I mean, if you did, you're fucking retarded, right?
No, you'd have to have rocks in your head to believe anything they've said the last 4 years, or Kamala, or I'll just be glad when that press secretary is gone, because every time she gets a question, she's lying because her eyes start going like this, fucking blinky, blinky, blinky. It's like
you noticed it. I would say that to my wife. She that's feigning intellectualism. She's pretending she's thinking about the answer. You're exactly right. She would bat those stupid fucking eyelashes that black women wear. They put fake eyelashes on top of fake eyelashes. When they fucking, if they bat their eyes fast enough, they could take off.
She looks like a retarded gollywog.
What's a gollywog? Wait a minute, what's a gollywog?
That used to be like, it's like a doll they used to make. A woman made these dolls back in the old days, and now they're meant to be racist because it's a black doll with big red lips and what looks like a...
We had a picture of my wife.
It almost...
Go ahead.
It almost looks like a cabbage. It looks like a Cabbage Patch doll doing blackface.
Yes, I kept calling her. You had the same take. I kept calling her Raggedy Andy, a black Raggedy Andy. But you're right. It was that fucking those dolls you were talking.
Yeah.
My wife had a picture because my wife's family is from the South. If you go back generations, they're from the deep South. And her grandmother, somebody gave her a picture, and it's a little black kid eating watermelon. And it's not supposed to be racist; it's cultural. But I remember we had that hanging in our bathroom downstairs, and we had somebody black in the building. I don't know if they snuck in. I don't never let people in. But I remember going, "Oh no!" I ran downstairs a bit. I excused myself. I went to the bathroom, and I took the picture down. So I'm going, how can if I go outside, they're going to see me carrying it. So I put it in the tub, and I pulled the curtain. It's not even meant to be racist. That's how fucked up things are.
Well, everything's racist these days, Nick. You can't say or do anything without the race card being thrown at you. So it's...
I know.
Go
ahead.
We've got pubs here in Australia because we have Australia Day. January 26th is when Australia became a colony. But now all these pubs want to shut because they said it's a hurtful day for the Aborigine people.
Oh, my God.
All that sort of bullshit. So now all these pubs want to close.
See, that's globalism is what that is. That's fucking globalism. They're all working from the same playbook. They do it over here too. They want to change Columbus Day to people indigenous fucking whatever. Smoke your peace pipe. There's 8 Indians left, for Christ's sake. And 7 of them are for changing the logo on the fucking Redskins helmet back to being an Indian. But see that? That's global shit. And I was very surprised. I think we talked about this last time, Lee. I was very surprised that Australia, that was one country we could always look to where it didn't seem politically correct. And I was like, and then I don't know who took over there. When's the last time you had a presidential election?
We have a prime minister. A prime minister in
right.
Albanese, who's in Albanese, he's like Joe Biden. You know, he's one of those, tells stories. He's useless. He's always out of the country. He does nothing. He just brought a $4 million mansion about an hour from me and ordered a road in front of his house. People have been waiting to get their roads fixed, but he gets like 2 miles of road retard in front of his new house. So nobody really likes him. They're all assholes down here. But like I said, Australia used to be we don't give a fuck. We stand up to the government. We had a Eureka stockade where we stood up to the government, but now we just bend over and get the Vaseline out and take it.
I know. Very disappointing because...
So am I.
Yeah. He's like, I don't use Vaseline. What the fuck's this guy doing? I know. We always looked, Australian guys, we always would say that. And they would come help us fight. I remember when I did the USO tour, there was Canadians and Australians and all kinds of fucking guys helping us out. So that guy that's the prime minister now is when was he elected?
He's been in for a couple of years now, but they're calling for an early election. But I just got fined the other day, Nick, because I didn't vote. And in Australia,
what?
It's a democracy, but if you don't vote, you get fined. So if I don't pay the fine, I have to put down my reasoning not to. So I put religious. Or if you don't pay the fine, you lose your driver's license, so you can't drive.
Are you hold on. Is that a new law? Has that always been around, or is that new?
Yeah. I put up a photo and video of the letter on my Instagram where it says why you did not vote. You can either go to court to tell them why, or put in your beliefs. I put in I'm Aboriginal and religious, and then why not?
Should have.
But then, if you don't pay the fine, they take your license off you.
Now, is that's a fairly new law under this guy?
No. Been around forever. So I don't know how you can call it democracy where if you don't vote, you get fined.
It's just the opposite. Mind your fucking business.
Exactly.
I didn't vote. I was getting blown. How about that? Jesus Christ. Yeah. That is unbelievable. And that's where we're headed. Thank God Trump did get elected, because we were on a fucking fast track to all that horse shit. And that dumb...
You can do a donkey vote, they call it, where you go down, you just get your name marked off, but you don't have to vote. But if you don't vote, then your vote goes to whoever's already in. But the last time I did vote, I had to laugh because I was waiting in line, and you wouldn't know it. I was just joking about how you got to wait in line. And the woman who gives me the voting paper and pencil wasn't a woman. I get the only fucking drag queen handing out voting slips. And it took everything in my power to bite my tongue when he or she handed me the voting.
I know. I get yelled at by an old guy. I got fucking yelled at. I haven't talked to you since I voted. Have we? No. Fucking I walk in, and this guy's to the left by himself, and he got to be 75, 80 years old. And I got my phone in my hand, and he goes, "Run in your phone in your hand." And I started to put my paw, and he goes, "What are you doing?" And I go, "What?" I'm trying to be nice. So I come out. He goes, "Get your ID out." So I get my ID out. I go to show him. He goes, "Don't show me in there." Fucking screams at me. So it bothered me so much. I'm in there voting, and I'm thinking about him. I'm not even fucking paying attention. I told some old black lady, I go, "Who's the crazy fucking white old man?" She started laughing her ass off. Apparently he snapped at a few people. This is how I am. I'm done voting, and you went out. They wouldn't let you exit the way you came in. You had to go out another door. I went out and I went all the way around, and I came back in. I stood in the doorway. He couldn't. He's so old, he didn't realize it was me again. He goes, "If you're voting, come on in." I go, "Kiss my asshole, man." and a lot of the staffers were laughing. They could hear me yelling at the fucking old guy. And then my wife voted after me. We usually vote together. She had to go an hour later. Same thing. He snapped it. Maybe he's a good guy. I don't know.
No, we had a thing last year where they wanted to give. It was like a referendum for the Aborigines where we give them more rights, more land, and it's also like not reparations, but if you own a house on the land, because it's their land, you have to pay the Aborigine community money every month to have your house on their land. But we voted it down, so everyone said we're racist. But when I was going in, same thing. This guy goes, "Are you voting yes on the referendum?" I said, "Fuck no." He's like, "You're racist," and then I'm like, "Oh, go fuck off."
Did he really?
There was another old cranky man. Yeah, he called me racist because I said I was voting no.
Figure the old guys would be with you on that one, fuck them. What is an Aborigine exactly?
He was old. He was old, but he was a bit fruity, so I gathered he was swinging to the other side.
It's weird when you said that. That was my first thought. A guy that old, that sort of that far left, something's going on there. Fucking. What? Explain it. Aborigine. I know it's just black, right?
Yeah. Well, it's like the.
How does it work?
They say they were the first people here, so they say it's their land. In the news last week, a surf club was having like a surf day, a swimming carnival at the beach to raise money for cancer. The Aborigine Cultural Society comes in and told them they have to pay $2,000 to use the public beach because it's their land to have the carnival, and the surf club caved and paid the Aborigine Cultural Committee the money to have it on the public beach. But every time we have a football game, any type of thing, we have this welcome to country where the government pays the Aborigine people to come out and welcome you to the ground, which is their sacred ground, and all this bullshit. And most Australians are over it because we're born here. We don't need to be welcomed. If I fly from Sydney to Melbourne, when the plane lands, they like, the elders like to welcome you to the traditional landowners. I'm like, that's fucking ridiculous.
Oh my God! What the fuck? Do they refer to the Aborigines as a marginalized community? That's the phrase over here.
We'll put it this way: the Aborigines are less than 3% of the population, and the government gives them $30 billion every year. We don't know where the money goes. They wanted to do an audit to see where the money goes, and the government said no because the government's just got their hands in the pot, taking all the money.
That's exactly right. You know where the money goes that they do get? They spend it on rims for their car and fucking sneakers.
Oh yeah. Well, it's like I tell my friends, what's the difference between a dead dog on the road and a dead Aborigine? There's skin marks in front of the dog.
All we got to do is switch that to. That's a fucking good one. Holy moly. Lee, let me ask you a question. We're talking to the great Lee Priest. As far as body, do you got a documentary out about yourself, part 4 or something? What did I read on the internet? You got?
I do have I have a documentary coming out in the next couple of weeks.
Oh,
so
okay.
when I get the link, I'll send it to you to have a look at. It goes for 2 hours 20. I think it's just different bodybuilders and that talking about my career and how I got suspended for standing up to the organization. And I think I was suspended 4 times before they suspended me for life for speaking my mind and doing whatever.
Unfucking believable. Wherever this politics is. What's the name of that documentary?
Rebel with a Cause.
Rebel with a Cause.
Yeah. And I always forget about it too, because people always ask me to do a book, but I do have a book on Amazon called Believe in Yourself.
Believe in Yourself. Something my dad never told me.
Exactly. Well, I'm glad, as I said, my dad, I'm glad he didn't teach me a few things, but I thought it is funny story. Before he told me he was gay, I came home early once, right? And this is when you had VHS videos. And there was a pile of videos near the door to be returned. And my dad was still at work, so I thought, what's this about? One was called Boys in the Sand. I'm like, must be like a Beach Boy movie.
Yeah, Elvis.
I put it in, and there's guys ass fucking over surfboards. And I'm like, I'm like 8 years old.
Oh,
But
Jesus.
the thing was, I was so nervous because I saw like a minute of it. I figured, fuck, I got to rewind it to where it was, or my dad's going to know I watched it.
Boys in the Sand. I'm going to actually look that one up. Boys in the Sand.
See how much that title stuck with me in my head.
Yeah, you were traumatized. You didn't even know it. Whoops. If you want sausages, go to my sister's house. No. Hey, guys, if you want to see the rest of my show, Louder with Crowder, and all the content available on Rumble Premium, click on the link in the description below. If you haven't converted from locals yet, there's a second link showing you how to do that. You can subscribe for $9.99 a month or $89 annually, but that's if you use my promo code MUGCLUB. That's one word, MUGCLUB, MUGCLUB. And it's worth it. Rumble Premium, it's one of the few platforms you can say anything you want. Please do it. You'll be glad you did. Also, I got a tour date, one date coming up in February of next year. Bricktown Comedy Club in Tulsa, Oklahoma on February 20th of 2025. Hope to see you there. In other exciting news, we launched our new merch store in time for Christmas, and everything in the store is 20% off until December 15th. You don't even need a promo code. The discount comes off in checkout. Just go to nickdip.com and click on merch. We added a lot of new stuff. Winter beanies, baseball shirts like this, hoodies, caps, mugs, stickers, and all that shit. Check out our new Patriot collection. All the items come in red, white, and blue with our matching logo. So head over to nickdip.com before December 15th to get 20% off everything. Don't miss it.
Hi, good night, everybody.